Have you ever noticed that the people who try to control others become deeply uncomfortable around someone who cannot be controlled? That kind of calm is rare. Not the calm that comes from having an easy life. Not the calm that comes from avoiding problems. But the calm that comes from mastering yourself. And that is exactly why they fear it. Welcome back to Stoic Ascension. If you're ready to develop unshakable inner strength, stay until the end because this lesson could completely change how you deal with difficult people, criticism, and chaos. And while you watch, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more powerful stoicism and timeless wisdom. Imagine a man standing in the middle of a storm. The wind is howling. The rain is pouring. Everyone around him is panicking. Yet he remains still. Not because he cannot feel the storm. Not because he is stronger than nature. But because he understands something the others do not. The storm is outside him. And as long as it stays outside him, it cannot destroy him. This is the power of Stoic calm. Most people spend their lives reacting. Someone insults them, they react. Someone ignores them, they react. Someone disagrees with them, they react. Their emotions are controlled by whoever happens to cross their path. A Stoic understands that every reaction is a form of surrender. The moment someone can control your emotions, they gain power over your mind. And that is why calm people are so intimidating. They cannot be manipulated easily. They cannot be provoked easily. They cannot be controlled easily. Many years ago, a merchant was known for his terrible temper. Anyone could upset him. A late delivery ruined his day. A rude customer ruined his week. A small mistake ruined his mood. One day he met an old philosopher sitting quietly beside a marketplace. The merchant complained about all the people causing him stress. The philosopher listened patiently and then asked a simple question. If strangers can change your emotions whenever they want, who is really in control of your life? The merchant had no answer. That question changed him forever. Because he realized he had handed the keys to his happiness to everyone else. Many people are doing the same thing today. They let social media decide their mood. They let criticism decide their confidence. They let rejection decide their worth. Then they wonder why they feel powerless. A Stoic refuses to live that way. When criticism comes, they listen calmly. If the criticism is true, they improve. If it is false, they move on. Either way, they remain at peace. And people fear this. Because they expect emotional reactions. They expect anger. They expect defensiveness. They expect you to lose control. When you remain calm, you break their expectations. You become unpredictable. You become powerful. Think about a deep lake. When the surface is disturbed, waves appear. But deep beneath the surface, the water remains still. Most people live only on the surface of their emotions. Every opinion becomes a wave. Every inconvenience becomes a storm. Every setback becomes a disaster. A Stoic learns to live deeper. They understand that temporary emotions do not define reality. Just because you feel frustrated does not mean your life is ruined. Just because you feel afraid does not mean you are in danger. Just because you feel rejected does not mean you are worthless. Emotions are visitors. They arrive. They stay for a while. Then they leave. Wisdom comes from not letting them become permanent residents. A young warrior once approached his master. He said, "People insult me constantly. How do I make them stop?" The master smiled. "You cannot stop people from speaking." The warrior frowned. "Then how do I protect myself?" The master pointed to a mountain. "Have you ever seen the mountain argue with the wind?" The warrior shook his head. The mountain remains standing because it does not waste energy fighting every gust. The lesson was simple. Not every battle deserves your attention. Not every insult deserves your response. Not every opinion deserves your concern. The strongest people are often the quietest. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they know when silence is more powerful than words. There is a special kind of strength in refusing to react. When someone tries to provoke you and fails, they become frustrated. When someone expects an argument and receives calmness instead, they become confused. When someone tries to shake your confidence and finds it rooted deeply within you, they become powerless. That is why they fear this kind of calm. It exposes how little control they truly have. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, understood this deeply. Despite ruling an empire, facing wars, betrayals, and endless pressure, he constantly reminded himself that external events only have power if we allow them to enter our minds. Imagine carrying that mindset through life. Imagine waking up each morning knowing that your peace belongs to you. Not your boss. Not your critics. Not your competitors. Not your enemies. You. What would change? Everything. Because peace is not weakness. Peace is strength under control. Anyone can explode in anger. Anyone can panic under pressure. Anyone can lose control. But remaining calm when everyone expects chaos requires discipline. It requires practice. It requires wisdom. A farmer once lost his horse. The neighbors rushed over. "What terrible luck," they said. The farmer simply replied, "Maybe." A few days later the horse returned with several wild horses. The neighbors celebrated. "What wonderful luck." The farmer replied, "Maybe." Later, the farmer's son broke his leg while trying to tame one of the horses. Again the neighbors arrived. "What terrible luck." The farmer answered, "Maybe." Soon after, soldiers came to recruit young men for war. Because of the broken leg, the son stayed home. The neighbors returned. "What wonderful luck." Again the farmer answered, "Maybe." The farmer understood something most people never learn. Events are neutral. It is our interpretation that creates suffering. A Stoic waits before judging. A Stoic observes before reacting. A Stoic understands that today's setback may become tomorrow's blessing. This perspective creates a calmness that others cannot understand. And what people do not understand often makes them uncomfortable. Many people secretly depend on drama. They depend on conflict. They depend on emotional chaos. When you stop participating in those games, they lose influence over you. Some will even become angry. Not because you have done something wrong, but because your peace reminds them of their lack of peace. Your calm becomes a mirror. And not everyone likes what they see in that reflection. There was once a businessman whose competitors constantly attacked him. They spread rumors. They mocked him. They predicted his failure. Instead of fighting back, he focused on improving his work. While they wasted energy criticizing him, he spent energy building. Years later his company flourished while his critics disappeared. His success was not created by revenge. It was created by focus. This is another reason they fear calm people. Calm people do not waste energy. They channel it. While others argue, they improve. While others complain, they work. While others react, they grow. The calm person is often making progress while everyone else is distracted. Imagine two fires. One burns wildly, consuming everything around it. The other burns steadily, providing warmth and light. The first attracts attention. The second creates value. Most people spend their lives trying to attract attention. Stoics focus on creating value. And value lasts longer than attention. There will be moments when life tests you. You will face rejection. You will face disappointment. You will face betrayal. You will face uncertainty. In those moments, remember this. Your power is not measured by what happens to you. Your power is measured by how you respond. A person who loses control during every challenge becomes a prisoner of circumstances. A person who remains calm becomes the master of circumstances. The world desperately needs more people like that. People who think before speaking. People who listen before judging. People who pause before reacting. People who remain steady when everyone else is falling apart. Imagine if every challenge became an opportunity to practice calm. Traffic becomes practice. Criticism becomes practice. Failure becomes practice. Delay becomes practice. Every difficult moment becomes training for the mind. This is how Stoics become strong. Not through comfort. Through repetition. Through daily discipline. Through choosing peace again and again. A sailor does not learn skill on calm seas. A sailor becomes skilled during storms. Likewise, a Stoic develops strength during adversity. Every challenge is a teacher. Every obstacle is training. Every setback is preparation. The people who fear your calm do not realize what it took to build it. They see the peace. They do not see the struggle behind it. They see the confidence. They do not see the doubts you conquered. They see the patience. They do not see the battles you fought within yourself. Real calm is earned. It is forged through experience. It is built through hardship. It is strengthened through discipline. And once you possess it, it becomes one of the most valuable assets in your life. Because calm allows you to think clearly. Calm allows you to make better decisions. Calm allows you to see opportunities hidden inside problems. Calm allows you to remain focused when others become distracted. Most importantly, calm protects your inner world. A person who protects their inner peace possesses a treasure that cannot be bought. Money can disappear. Status can disappear. Possessions can disappear. But inner peace remains with you wherever you go. That is true wealth. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember the mountain. The next time life becomes chaotic, remember the deep lake. The next time criticism arrives, remember that your value is not determined by someone else's opinion. Stay grounded. Stay focused. Stay calm. Because the moment you stop reacting to everything, you begin controlling your life. And that is when everything changes. The world may continue shouting. People may continue judging. Problems may continue appearing. But within you, there can be silence. Within you, there can be strength. Within you, there can be peace. And that peace is powerful. Powerful enough to confuse your enemies. Powerful enough to inspire your friends. Powerful enough to transform your life. That is why they fear this kind of calm. Not because it is loud. Not because it is aggressive. Not because it demands attention. But because it cannot be controlled. You. The world will always try to convince you that power is found in dominance. It will tell you that the loudest person in the room is the strongest. It will tell you that winning every argument is a victory. It will tell you that proving people wrong is success. But Stoicism teaches something very different. The strongest person is often the one who never feels the need to prove their strength. The wisest person is often the one who speaks the least. The most powerful person is often the one who has mastered themselves. Think about the oak tree during a storm. The branches may bend. The leaves may shake. The wind may roar around it. Yet its roots remain firm beneath the ground. Your calm is those roots. People only see what happens on the surface. They see your silence. They see your patience. They see your restraint. What they do not see are the roots you have built through discipline, self-control, and wisdom. Every time you choose not to react, your roots grow deeper. Every time you choose patience over anger, your roots grow stronger. Every time you choose understanding over resentment, your roots become harder to shake. One day, a young student asked an old Stoic, "When will I finally become unbothered by what people think of me?" The old man smiled and replied, "The day you realize most people are too busy worrying about what others think of them." The student laughed. And in that moment, he understood. Much of the fear that controls our lives comes from illusions. We worry about judgments that never come. We lose sleep over opinions that do not matter. We chase approval from people who are not even happy with themselves. A Stoic eventually learns to let go. Not because they stop caring, but because they start caring about the right things. Their character. Their actions. Their values. Their purpose. These are the things that deserve attention. Everything else is noise. Imagine carrying that mindset every day. Imagine walking into a room without needing validation. Imagine facing criticism without feeling broken. Imagine encountering failure without losing hope. Imagine dealing with difficult people without becoming one of them. That is freedom. And freedom is what Stoicism has always been about. Not freedom from challenges. Not freedom from pain. Not freedom from loss. But freedom from becoming a slave to those things. The calm person understands that life will never be perfect. There will be setbacks. There will be disappointments. There will be days when nothing goes according to plan. Yet they continue forward. Steady. Focused. Unshaken. Because they know that peace does not come from controlling the world. Peace comes from controlling yourself. The next time someone tries to pull you into drama, remember who you are becoming. The next time anger knocks at your door, pause before opening it. The next time fear whispers in your ear, remember all the obstacles you have already overcome. You are stronger than you think. Wiser than you realize. More capable than you know. And every challenge you face is another opportunity to prove that to yourself. Do not chase revenge. Chase growth. Do not chase validation. Chase character. Do not chase attention. Chase purpose. Because when your focus shifts inward, your life begins to transform outward. Years from now, people may forget your words. They may forget your achievements. They may even forget your name. But they will remember how you carried yourself. They will remember the calmness you brought into chaotic situations. They will remember the strength you showed when others gave up. They will remember the peace that seemed impossible to disturb. That is a legacy worth building. So walk forward with confidence. Stand firm like the mountain. Stay deep like the lake. Remain steady like the oak tree. Let others be ruled by impulse if they choose. Let others chase conflict if they wish. Let others waste their energy proving themselves. You have a greater mission. To master your mind. To strengthen your character. To protect your peace. And to become the kind of person who cannot be shaken by temporary storms. Because in the end, they do not fear your anger. They do not fear your words. They do not fear your reactions. They fear your calm. The kind of calm that comes from wisdom. The kind of calm that comes from discipline. The kind of calm that comes from knowing exactly who you are. Guard that calm. Nurture it. Strengthen it every day. For it is one of the greatest powers a human being can possess. As this journey comes to a close, take a moment to reflect on how different your life could become if you truly embraced this principle. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Today. Right now. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and deciding that no person, no situation, and no unexpected event will have permission to steal your peace. The traffic jam does not control you. The rude comment does not control you. The delay does not control you. The rejection does not control you. The only thing that controls you is your own judgment. That is the heart of Stoicism. And once you understand this, you begin to see life differently. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, how can I grow from this? You stop asking, how do I get even? And start asking, how do I become better? You stop asking, how do I change them? And start asking, how do I improve myself? These small shifts create extraordinary results. Because every great life is built from small decisions repeated consistently. A calm life is not built in one day. A strong mind is not built in one day. A disciplined character is not built in one day. They are built moment by moment. Choice by choice. Challenge by challenge. Think of a blacksmith forging a sword. The metal enters the fire again and again. It is struck repeatedly. It is tested repeatedly. It endures intense pressure. Yet every strike makes it stronger. Your struggles are doing the same thing. The criticism. The setbacks. The disappointments. The moments when nobody understands you. The moments when you feel alone. They are not destroying you. They are shaping you. And one day you will look back and realize that the things you once thought were breaking you were actually building you. That realization changes everything. Suddenly, obstacles become opportunities. Difficult people become teachers. Challenges become training grounds. Failures become lessons. And life itself becomes a classroom for wisdom. Most people spend their entire lives running from discomfort. Stoics learn to walk toward it. Because they know growth lives on the other side of difficulty. A seed must break before it becomes a tree. A caterpillar must struggle before it becomes a butterfly. A warrior must train before they become strong. Likewise, you must endure challenges before you discover your true strength. Never underestimate what you are becoming through your struggles. The version of you that exists 1 year from now may look back at today's problems and smile. Not because the problems were easy, but because they made you stronger. Remember this whenever life feels unfair. Remember this whenever the path feels difficult. Remember this whenever you are tempted to give up. You have survived every difficult day that brought you here. Every setback. Every heartbreak. Every disappointment. Every obstacle. You are still standing. That alone is proof of your resilience. And resilience grows into confidence. Confidence grows into peace. Peace grows into power. Not the power to control others, but the power to control yourself. And that is the highest form of power. The Stoics understood something that many people never discover. A person who conquers the world but cannot conquer themselves is still a slave. But a person who masters themselves is free, even in the middle of chaos. Seek that freedom. Protect it. Value it. Because once you have it, no one can take it away from you. Not criticism. Not failure. Not rejection. Not fear. Not even adversity itself. The world may continue changing. Circumstances may rise and fall. Fortunes may come and go. But your character can remain steady. Your principles can remain firm. Your peace can remain untouched. And when that happens, you become a force unlike any other. A force that does not need to shout. A force that does not need to threaten. A force that does not need to prove itself. A force built on wisdom, patience, and inner strength. So wherever you are right now, make a quiet promise to yourself. A promise to respond instead of react. A promise to stay calm when others panic. A promise to stay focused when others become distracted. A promise to keep growing, no matter how difficult the journey becomes. Because the person who refuses to quit eventually becomes the person others admire. The person who protects their peace eventually becomes the person others respect. And the person who masters their mind eventually becomes the person others cannot control. That is the path of the Stoic. That is the path of true strength. That is the path of ascension. Thank you for being part of the Stoic Ascension community. Your presence here means you have chosen growth over excuses, wisdom over impulse, and strength over weakness. Leave a comment below with the words, "I choose calm." Let it be your declaration to yourself and to this community. And even after this video ends, the real practice begins. Because wisdom means very little if it is only heard. Wisdom becomes powerful when it is lived. Anyone can listen to Stoic ideas for a few minutes. Anyone can nod in agreement. Anyone can say, "That makes sense." But the true Stoic carries these lessons into everyday life. Into the workplace. Into relationships. Into moments of frustration. Into moments of uncertainty. Into moments when emotions demand immediate action. That is where character is revealed. Not when life is easy. But when life becomes difficult. There will be days when someone misunderstands you. Days when your efforts go unnoticed. Days when you feel tempted to react, argue, complain, or give up. In those moments, remember this. Every challenge is asking you a question. The question is not whether the challenge is difficult. The question is who you will become because of it. Will you become bitter? Or wiser? Will you become angry? Or stronger? Will you become reactive? Or disciplined? The answer belongs entirely to you. One of the greatest secrets of Stoicism is understanding that peace is not found at the end of the journey. Peace is found during the journey. Many people spend years telling themselves, "I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll be happy when people respect me. I'll be happy when my problems disappear." But life keeps moving the finish line. The money arrives and new worries appear. The success arrives and new pressures emerge. The recognition arrives and new expectations follow. The Stoic sees this trap and steps away from it. They understand that peace cannot depend on conditions. If your peace depends on everything going your way, then your peace is fragile. True peace exists when you remain centered even when life refuses to cooperate. That kind of peace cannot be bought. It cannot be given by others. It must be built within. A traveler once spent years searching for happiness. He crossed mountains. He visited distant cities. He met scholars and kings. Yet he remained dissatisfied. One day he met an old sage sitting quietly beneath a tree. The traveler asked, "Where can I find peace?" The sage smiled and said, "The place you have searched the least." The traveler looked confused. "Where is that?" The sage gently touched the traveler's chest. "Within yourself." How often do we search everywhere except the place where the answer truly exists? We search for approval. We search for status. We search for possessions. We search for recognition. Yet the calm we desire is waiting inside us, hidden beneath fear, distraction, and endless noise. The Stoic path is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming intentional. You still feel emotions. You still experience disappointment. You still encounter pain. But instead of becoming a servant to those emotions, you become their observer. You notice them. You learn from them. Then you choose your response carefully. This simple habit changes everything. A pause before speaking. A breath before reacting. A moment of reflection before making a decision. These small actions create extraordinary strength. Because every great achievement begins with self-control. The athlete needs discipline. The leader needs discipline. The parent needs discipline. The entrepreneur needs discipline. The Stoic understands that discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. It frees you from impulsive decisions. It frees you from emotional slavery. It frees you from becoming controlled by every passing feeling. And freedom is worth every effort. As you continue your journey, there will be people who misunderstand your calmness. Some will think you are weak. Others will think you do not care. Some may even become frustrated because they cannot provoke you. Let them think what they want. The lion does not lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. Your responsibility is not to manage every opinion. Your responsibility is to manage your character. Stay focused on that. The people who truly matter will eventually recognize your strength. Not because you talked about it, but because you demonstrated it. Day after day. Challenge after challenge. Decision after decision. Character always reveals itself over time. And eventually, the world notices. But by then, something interesting happens. You no longer need the world's approval. Because your confidence comes from within. Your peace comes from within. Your purpose comes from within. And when those foundations are strong, external opinions lose their power. This is why Stoicism remains relevant thousands of years after it was first taught. Human nature has not changed. People still face fear. People still face uncertainty. People still face disappointment. People still struggle with anger, envy, and anxiety. The challenges may look different. But the solution remains remarkably similar. Master yourself. Control what you can. Accept what you cannot. Focus on virtue. Protect your peace. Live with purpose. These timeless principles have guided emperors, soldiers, philosophers, and ordinary people through life's greatest challenges. And they can guide you too. So as you move forward from this moment, carry these lessons with you. Carry them into tomorrow. Carry them into next week. Carry them into every conversation, every challenge, and every opportunity. Let your calm become your strength. Let your discipline become your advantage. Let your wisdom become your guide. And when life tests you, and it will, remember the message at the heart of this video. The world fears a person who cannot be controlled. A person who remains calm under pressure. A person who refuses to react impulsively. A person who chooses wisdom over emotion. A person who finds peace within themselves. Become that person. Not for recognition. Not for praise. Not for admiration. But because becoming that person will transform your life. And transformation begins with a single decision. The decision to master yourself. The decision to stay calm. The decision to rise above. The decision to keep ascending. Until next time, this is Stoic Ascension. Please share, comments, and subscribe for more powerful Stoicism, reminding you that your greatest victory will never be over another person. It will always be over the chaos within. And once you achieve that victory, nothing outside of you will ever have the power to defeat you.